Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Thursday, October 12th, 2023. Let's cut right to it. All right. Today, this market experienced what I would say is a pan sell off, a fear trade, and some very, very interesting action here in the debt market. I almost don't know where to start. So let's do this. A pretty profound knee jerk into the dollar today on a relative strength basis. The dollar put on like 0.75%. That's a fear trade. Okay. Now, generally, and look, all of you know how this works, but let's just review a slight bit here. Generally, and we witnessed this with this whole war. Um, Fear in the market tends to drive cash into the perceived safety of debt. And that was really what this is all about, a big part of it. We watched bond yields drop, risk drop, cash make its way into the stock market. It looked like everything was beautiful. Okay, now we here, right on this blog, discussed how it's not going to last. That's number one. Number two, in order to push more cash into the debt market and stabilize it, they need something else, something bigger, something maybe much bigger. Now, it looks to me, gauging from the fear trade here, I mean, we had a pan sell off, like I said. Albert R., thank you. We had stocks sell off today, debt sold off today, cryptocurrency sold off today, gold and silver sold off today, crude oil under a little bit of pressure, but again, knee jerk into the dollar. It's fear trade for the most part, except the bond market. Now, a few things could be going on here. Number one is the market may be preparing itself or sensing something very big is about to happen. Now, what could possibly, look, I'm just speculating here, okay? Um, we all know, I mean, it's pretty much common knowledge now. There is going to be an all-out incursion here on Gaza. A lot of people are going to die. Okay. Um, that may be it, but I think that's probably baked in to what the market is seeing or thinking is going to happen. So it could be something else. Could be something else. The market could be overreacting as well. I mean, look, this war over there is expanding on all fronts, and it's a human tragedy on so many levels here. But again, they will kill as many people as they have to, spread blood and guts and hopes and dreams and everything all over the place to maintain the current system. All right. And you're watching TV today and the propaganda and the new war on terror. They're not calling it that, but of course, that's where we're building up towards anyway. So this pan sell off today, I mean, the market was down a lot worse earlier. We did finish lower, nothing dramatic across the board, but everything sold off. Everything sold off. Got that knee jerk into the dollar. Now, this debt market issue, we knew it wasn't going to last. I'm very surprised it hasn't lasted a little bit longer, unless there's something else going on here. All right. So we really do need to raise our awareness, pay attention to what's going on around us. And I think that we have a very, very good handle on it, you and I. All right, we've been ready for anything for the longest freaking time. Anyway, so with that, I want to discuss a few other things with you. So I'm laughing, but I shouldn't be laughing. I really shouldn't here. So inflation, of course, the news today, a couple of big things came in worse than expected. Nobody saw this coming. It's absolutely none of the rocket scientists, economists saw this coming. And I want you to understand something. I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it again and again. And I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think, I'm going to pose this as a question or something. How is it? Thank you, Robert. Explain to me and put this into very simple terms, as if I were a small child or a golden retriever. All right. How is it that so far every single projection from the Federal Reserve has been wrong? Janet Yellen as well, former Fed chair. You think there's something going on here? Not once have they gotten it right. And they're all shocked and surprised when they find out that, well, inflation is continuing to rise. But so they've been 100% wrong. But you and I have nailed it to the wall. How is that even possible? Explain it to me, unless, of course, this is deliberate. Okay. It's the same story. This institution, a crime syndicate of, I mean, if there were the highest order and then something beyond the highest order, well, that's the Federal Reserve and that's central banks collectively. Okay. And there's no accountability. There's no, again, this is all about the war. You don't even hear about Russia, Ukraine anymore. It's all about this. Politicians, nobody calling out the Federal Reserve, nothing. It just, no one holds anybody to account anymore. It's an incredible thing. Now, a couple of other things I want to talk about today. So, I mean, are you surprised about what you're about to hear? So, mortgage defaults are rising at their fastest pace since the last housing meltdown. I don't think anyone's surprised here. Now, it's not just it's loans across the board. Loans across the board are in default faster than we've ever seen. As a matter of fact, this plays right into something else that we found out today. The cost of living right now is higher than it has ever been in history. But remember Janet Yellen? She said everything is fine. I don't see a damn thing wrong. She didn't put in those words, but she said everything's fine. Economy's strong. We're doing fantastic. Everyone's rich. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that too. Um, anyway, it's just it's loan defaults are skyrocketing. This is all the stuff I was writing down today. And this plays into something else that you and I know is going on. Rating 57, thank you. Look, these rating these numbers, all of them, they're not real. There's nothing. They're all fabrications, and they let us know what they want us to know, or they think we should be allowed to know. Again, the information is controlled. The numbers are fake. I hate even talking about it. I despise it because they're not real. There's no bearing on reality at all anymore. And this is exactly what you would expect to see as things are collapsing around us all. They can't allow you to know. But anyway, going back to what I was saying. So we understand, and we've covered this at length. I don't even want to cover it anymore. That the banks are in dire shape, dire shape here. Their balance sheets, the value of their balance sheets, they've loaded up on debt. In this rising rate environment, their portfolios are evaporating. Bad loans across the board, and you and I are going to pay for it all again, and we're paying for it now. And again, with the big shock of inflation continuing to rise with no end in sight. Again, there's no end in sight. Not only is there no end in sight, everything they're doing here is assuring that inflation is going to go much, 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 much higher. Again, you can't throw trillions of dollars, let's say $8 trillion so far at the war on terror, which is now entering a new phase, another at least $8 trillion going at that. Billions and hundreds of billions to fight this war. The pledge from everyone you can dream about and think about to fund this new war, which is going to expand. This is massively inflationary. Massively inflationary. It's going to take a while for that cash, the debt, to make its way through the system, but it's coming. And don't take my word for it. Listen to the BIS screwballs over there, who are telling us it's like we need to know this. Of course we know it's going to happen. It's unbelievable. But today's action in the market. Today's the first day since the war where we witnessed a rebound here, or a sell-off again in the debt market, and that obviously hit the stock market. Although it could have been a lot worse. Earlier, the Dow was down like 350. We finished down, but not by that much anyway. But it was a pan sell-off with a knee-jerk into the dollar. That is generally a fair trade, except it was lacking one thing: the cash making its way into the debt market. So we need to. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. Again, it could be the market is fearing the next phase, which they're broadcasting to the world already, which is this incursion into Gaza. We took out 2 airports today. Israel took out 2 airports today in Syria and Lebanon over there. They're shelling. So, I mean, this is a multi-front war. It's getting a lot worse. The backlash against this war is growing. and it's a pretty incredible thing. Anyway, people, that's what's happening. That's where we are. And I look. Let me say this too. Let me say this too. Despite the fact that inflation continues to rise and will continue to do so, and it's not unexpected. The only way it's unexpected is if you're a mental midget of the highest order, or you're a liar of the highest order. You pick. And I don't think the people at the Fed are actually mental midgets. I don't even think they're freaking human beings. You know what I'm saying here? Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate this. Um, Yes, MRNC. It's building up to something like that. A false flag, another one, something bigger. Uh, Again, just understanding how the market works and realizing that the market prices things in. I don't think that what the market is feeling right now is this Israeli incursion into Gaza, which is being leveled. It's a terrible thing that's going on over there. Okay. Anyway, it's something else. It's something else, and I think we all feel it. I know we feel. Look, I don't live my life on some other plane or whatever it might be. But I'm telling you, you trust your instincts. You're going to be right most of the time, and this doesn't feel right to me. Also, let me say this as well. What happens in one part of the world affects all of us. Okay, that's really the truth, and that may be some of what we are all experiencing as well. Um, this this whole thing is it's much bigger than I think that most people understand, but I think we're all on the same page here. I know Lava gets it, Geo Rider, Magic Mega. Thank you again for all those things you sent. Unbelievable, fantastic. Perry gets it. Joey Socks. Everybody, look at all my friends here. All right, people. Let's not keep this too long today. All right. I'm actually, honestly, I'm tired. And a lot of you writing to me about, Greg, you don't look good. Greg, you look so drained. And you're right. This stuff gets to me. It really does. It sucks out my freaking will. And but I'm okay. All right. I'm not going to stop doing this. I said earlier, I sent out a newsletter. I said, if it kills me, I'm going to keep at this. Yeah, exactly, Jay. I'm gonna go. My Copo's in the shop right now. I'm gonna get a little more horsepower out of it, and my Cuda, I got to get a new set of rear slicks for it. And I will be back racing again. I think that's part of the reason why I feel the way that I do. Anyway, that's pretty much where we stand, people. Do you want to go over anything? The floor is open. Anything you guys want to talk about here? Rate hike. All right, Chet. Let's talk about that a little bit. I was trying to lead up to. I got sidetracked, but that put me back on track. Thank you. All right. So here's what I believe is going to happen. What do we understand? We know that central banks are going to continue to inflate. Period. Nothing is going to get in their way. Thank you, Will. I appreciate that. 9% dividend. Goro. I'm not too familiar with what that may be. Honestly. But anyway, let me get back on track real quick. So we understand that untold amounts of cash are going to be thrown out this new war on terror, and they're playing it up with, you had they're telling us about babies getting their heads cut off and all this, all this stuff that they think people need to hear to support it without any real evidence. Okay, that's one thing, but anyway, that's just how they play this game. It appears to me that central banks are going to use this crisis and to their own benefit, quite obviously, and that is they're going to look for another. They're more than likely, I would say, gauging from what we've heard. Thank you, Will, from a couple of Fed presidents here. They're going to use this opportunity, central banks, the Federal Reserve, more than anybody else, to print, to now enter another phase of debt creation and cash creation out of nothing, sucking the purchasing power out of the currencies. You know this already. I'm preaching to the choir, but that's what they're going to do. And you and I are going to pay for it in the sense that inflation is going to continue to skyrocket. The economy is going to continue to free fall. The cost of living today, which is the highest it's ever been in history here in the United States and more than likely everywhere around the world, is going to get a lot worse. It's pretty obvious what they want to do. And I'm not lying. They want most of us dead. And I mean that in the literal sense. It's about control. It's about power. Um, I really feel that way, and it's well on its way. I mean, and these numbers of dead that they're throwing out here, in Gaza, they're 10 times worse, 10 times worse than they're letting us know about. Anyway, that's where we stand, people. I think again that we're on the right side of this. We're prepared in every way we can be. We got each other's backs, and unfortunately, this thing is spiraling out of control. Although it's in control, everything you're seeing has been planned out from a long time ago. This is not a spontaneous thing. This wasn't an intelligence failure like they were trying to sell us. Now there's proof that it was not an intelligence failure. There were multiple warnings from multiple nations about this. But that's how they initially tried to sell it to us. And some people, bought it. That it's absolutely not true. There's no way. And again, there's other stuff that's been planned here, and it's going to happen. And again, going back to this market here, um, I don't like it. I don't like the way. And I'm a pretty good reader of this. All right. I'm not right all the time, but I'm telling you, I don't think it's this incursion that the market is fearing. It's something else. And I guess we're going to find out soon enough. Seriously. All right, people. Look, this guy here loves you a lot from the heart. Thank you. Over 800 thumbs up. I can't thank you enough for that. Please comment. Please share this video. And we will resume these festivities tomorrow in the morning. Just be ready for anything, people. Be ready for anything. All right. I'll leave you off with that. See you tomorrow.